Nothing is new under the sun. And that's especially true when it comes to things like interior design. Sooner or later, everything makes a comeback or a resurgence or a reach around. It's all cool again at some point. After a few years, we always look back and we think, that looks awful. Why did I do that? During the pandemic, I, like most of Gen Z, had strip lights in my room. And I don't know about you, but I hate them now. They look cheap, they're not subtle, and when you're done with them, they rip all the paint off your walls. A lot of us Zoomers do like to make fun of millennials for a lot of things. I mean, they give us plenty of material to do it.
You can see it.
I'm so excited that Taylor Swift gets to be small girl with Travis Kelce because he is large boy.
But one thing I know we love to make fun of them for is that millennial gray era of the 2010s. Gray walls, gray furniture, gray floors. The design was meant to be simple, minimalistic, and the go-to when you need to stage a house for a showing. All right, I'm just gonna be real with you. It sucks. Everything about that millennial gray is cold and corporate and has no personality to it. It's just not good, and I'm glad it's something we're moving away from. It really just kind of makes you wonder where it came from. I mean, things couldn't have always been like this, right? What happened to the whimsy and the color, the character of the 90s that millennials just refuse to stop telling us about? They just love those little patterns on the cups from the old arcades. You know exactly which ones I'm talking about. Well, after combing through forbidden archives, CIA files, and the TikTok For You page, I finally found it. The root cause of minimalism, the killer of individualism and whimsy. It can all be blamed on one woman, Joan Steffand. You see, Joan was the host of the HGTV show Decorating Sense from 1997 to 2007. The goal of every episode was to completely redesign someone's house for under $500. But in today's money, that's around $1,000. She'd usually bring on an interior decorator of some kind to help her with these rooms, but they would always come up with interesting designs. I'm talking about the kind of designs that would cause an entire generation to dull itself down to what we now know as millennial gray. You know what? Why don't I just show you what I'm talking about?
Scott Kelson's style is what you might call evolving. Until recently, his career called for him to spend more time in hotel rooms than at home.
It's never really felt like home, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Just not enough time to make it home.
Okay, off rip. This guy's room isn't too bad. He definitely needs more on the walls, and the cuck rocking chair is a little weird, but other than that, it could definitely be worse. They also talked a little bit about his lack of lighting in the room, and I do hate a big light, so I agree with them. If he just got a few lamps, he'd be okay.
There's more of the straighter lines, maybe less clutter, not a lot of knickknacks.
Oh, shoot.
And then
we had so many knickknacks ready to just pile into this room.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what clutter he's talking about. Does he mean on the desk? Because if he doesn't mean that, the room is damn near empty. I also have to comment on the fact that this man is stressed. Scott didn't even give Joan's joke a blow of air out the nose. I mean, she got a little nervous laughter from him, but that's not a real laugh. This is a man that knows Joan's game. He knows of her demonic decorating style, and he knows if he allows himself to be taken over by its influence that he could lose his mind forever. This is when Joan decides to bring in her interior designer, and the first thing they decide to do is paint the walls. Originally, Scott had this grayish bluish color, which I think looks pretty good. It's nice, it's calming, and it's not millennial gray. But something in Joan and her interior designer's mind just said, no, chaos must be ensued here. We must put more chaos into this room. So they put up a bunch of tape and decide to paint this weird plaid accent wall for some reason.
5 hours and $53 later.
This is it. Yay! We did it. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it.
What are we doing? Please, Joan, just tell me, what is the vibe that we're going for here? Because I have no clue what it is.
It's going to be kind of masculine, eclectic.
Okay.
And a little retro twist in there, too.
Masculine eclectic? What does that mean? I know what the word masculine means. Let me just look up eclectic real quick. Deriving ideas, style, or taste from a broad and diverse range of sources? That's nothing. That's just whatever. That's just bullshit. You might as well have just said masculine mix of random bullshit. You know what? Let me just trust the process. Joan is a master at her craft. She is a design guru. She can't steer us wrong. Let's just see what's next in this masculine eclectic design.
Wow, this is a great quality feeling duvet. It has
Isn't
great
it?
hand to it.
Yeah, it does.
I like it.
You know what? It was a great deal.
I know, because
Well, it's got the floral on this side, which is a little too feminine for Scott.
Yeah.
But I love the color that we're going to have up here in the front, and it works really well with this leather headboard.
yeah, it'll be his little secret.
Okay, at the end of the day, how masculine a bedroom is does not matter. But you said you were doing masculine. That comforter is not masculine. Joan, I love a good deal. I bet you got that comforter for a fantastic price. But if we're gonna pick a style, let's stick to it. If I'm in Scott's position, I'm assuming you think I'm gay. He's a man, all right? He needs manly bedding, not this feminine floral stuff. This is what you want to do. Get him a comforter, make it manly. I'm thinking manly oiled up WWE wrestlers all over it. No women, all dudes. That's masculine.
But you know what? Scott needs a lot of artwork, so we've got it here for him. But this is actually very affordable. So I took very inexpensive frames and just cut out different pictures from art books. And I've got a variety of kind of modern, contemporary, and also the classics. So it'll give you a variety of different things to look at.
Is there anything that makes it cohesive? The frames, kind of? No, nothing?
No, I don't want it to actually be cohesive. That's the whole point.
Eclectic really is just a bunch of bullshit. Because why would you take random art pieces that have nothing to do with each other and the person probably doesn't like and just go, oh yeah, this fits? You think Scott's gonna walk into his room and go, oh man, I just love my painting of the Sphinx and these abstract shapes. They go so well together. No! And then for some reason, they decide to line the art up side by side on the wall.
Side by side presents a look that is anything but ordinary.
They didn't even do it all the way around. They just kept it to one side, which makes it even weirder.
This art bookshelf is a keeper. Using something lightweight yet large on top helps conceal the bracket.
No. No, you didn't just make a shelf out of a random ass book and then throw a vase up there to cover up the bracket on the wall. You didn't. You didn't do that. You didn't. Now, I think that's a cool idea if that's, you know, your vibe. You know, you got that Luna Lovegood core, quirky art girl aesthetic kind of thing going on. Yeah, perfect. That's fine. But Scott? You think that fits for Scott? No. I'm going to be so real. Just looking at Scott, you can tell that man does not give a fuck about what his space looks like. I bet his girlfriend came to him and said, hey, if I'm going to keep coming over here, you got to get a headboard, you got to get more than one pillow, and you got to get more towels in here. And that's exactly when he decided to go to Joan. For a lot of guys I know, their space is about functionality first, and if they can add something cool after, it's a bonus. I can't lie, I'm a little guilty of this too. But at least my room feels like me, and it's not a mix of masculine eclectic bullshit.
We'll bring back Scott's high-tech desk, but change out his 2 traditional chair for this one we found for just $7.
Now, if you have a desk, you know the one thing you really don't want to skimp out on is the chair. Depending on the amount of work you do, you could be sitting at that desk for hours, maybe even all day. The fact that she could have ignored it, but instead decided to switch it with a chair that was worse, is criminal. There's less space for his butt, less back support, the legs are smaller so it might not feel secure. Honestly, I have to say this is probably the most heinous thing Joan's done so far.
The corner rocker gets an upgrade too.
Ooh, the cuck chair's getting an upgrade. Maybe we'll get something nice like a lounge chair, something you can read a book in and drink a cup of, and it's even more of a cuck chair. Okay. All in all, not a bad room. Some of the design elements are a little wonky, but other than that, the design's pretty cohesive. The real question is, how is Scott gonna feel about it?
Wow. Wait a second. How long have you guys been here?
3 days. No, just today.
Wow.
That man does not like that room. There is not a hint of excitement in his voice. Wow, I love it. Who wouldn't want a bedroom decorated like someone's idea of reality defies all comprehension? Joan, if I'm being honest, it's a bit much for me. I mean, the random hand on the dresser, the weird paintings on the walls, the bedding, I don't think I'm a fan. I do love what you've done with the cuck chair, though. That is simply fantastic. Maybe some of your best work yet.
Well, we're pretty sure Scott digs it. What about his girlfriend, Shay?
Oh my gosh, you guys! That, she likes it! Oh my gosh! You guys, this is unbelievable.
Look at how excited she is. I'm telling you, Shay wanted him to change that room. And look at Scott, just standing there. That man is happy. He does not care. She's happy. He's happy. You'd think things are over and it's going to be calm and happy, but Joan just has to inject just a little bit more chaos into the situation. She just loves being messy.
Okay, well, you get the question of the day. What is his style now? His style is fabulous.
I guarantee she knew the last thing she was ever going to say was masculine eclectic. In fact, Joan has been questioning the designer the entire time.
Well, Scott is wide open to style, and Nadia has a plan, right? Are we going to make him a style today?
We are.
And what's it going to be?
Well, it's going to be kind of masculine, eclectic.
Okay.
And a little retro twist in there, too.
Masculine, eclectic, retro twist. That sounds like fun. Is there anything that makes it cohesive? The frames, kind of? No, nothing?
No, I don't want it to actually be cohesive. That's the whole point.
Okay.
Kind of interesting.
Okay, well, you get the question of the day. What is his style now? His style is fabulous.
Now, I have a theory, and it's gonna sound crazy, but hear me out here. Joan is a major rage baiter who loves making people mad. What's that? You say I'm jumping to conclusions and I have no proof? Oh, I've got the proof. Just look at these other clips I found of Joan helping people.
This simple window treatment is a birch branch found outdoors. 8 multicolored bandanas, $1 each, were knotted end to end. Then this colorful swag was draped over the birch bark branch. Total cost for the window, just $8.
The log just stands out, okay? There's nothing else in the room that's natural or rural in any kind of way.
Because the dresser was in good shape, we added real birch hardware to the drawers to warm it up.
Oop, I stand corrected. She has to be doing this to get a reaction. There's no way she thinks that someone wants a big ass tree branch on their wall. Imagine you're excited to see your room. You don't expect much because you know the decorator only gets about $500 to do it. You walk in, excited to see the new change. You look around the room. You see a branch on the wall. It's like that dumbass exhibit of the banana, except you're surrounded by cameras and can't say anything, and Joan Stephan is looking at you with a shit-eating grin. Doesn't this look great? Isn't this like the best thing you've ever seen? This is the rage bait situation. But as bad as the branch on the wall is, it's not the worst thing I've seen her do. That has to go to the time she painted a rug on a wood floor. And no, I'm not joking.
The bright colors work like magic to cover up the scratches on the wood floor. And we made a simple diamond stencil out of paper to create the decoration around the border.
Why? Who needs this? Why not just buy a real rug? It makes no sense. Does it cost a little more? Sure. But it also looks better. It makes you look a little less crazy because it looks like it's a cartoon rug on the ground. It's got to be at least the 3rd time she's done this. So at this point, it's not a one-off. It's a go-to method she uses when decorating. You know what? Why stop there? Why not paint a little mouse hole in the wall for good measure? Maybe for lunch, Joan will make one of those holographic sandwiches Karen makes plankton, or a pie that makes you float into the air when you smell it.
Holographic meatloaf? My favorite!
Okay. In all seriousness, there were plenty of times Joan was helpful in redecorating these people's rooms. Some of their spaces weren't utilized correctly, and even just moving around the furniture helped exponentially. They even fixed the feng shui in the masculine eclectic room, even though every other part of it felt off. All that being said, let's give the millennial martyrs some credit for stepping outside their box and trying something new. They grew up with probably some of the worst designs you've ever seen and decided to do something completely different. Gen Alpha will probably think something similar about Zoomers. They'll probably hate maximalism and want to go back to a more minimalistic type of design. At the end of the day, do whatever you want. Decorate how you want. Make a space that feels like you for you. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. It lets me know you want to see more. If you want to suggest a topic for a future video, or if you want to say something to me, you can put it in the comments below. My socials are down in the description if you want to follow me on there too. Now, this is where we part ways, but nothing ever really ends forever. But maybe we're not at the end. Maybe we're in the middle. Or maybe at the beginning. Or maybe at the end again. Time is kind of eclectic like that, right? Okay, I'm sorry. I had to do that. I'll see you guys in the next one.